Greetings from MRH Get These Services. Live in the set. Getting it done. PowerPoint presentation. Heavy bag. 400 pounds. Making it happen. In this PowerPoint presentation presented today, we are going to do a full visual outlook of a power plant. Through this PowerPoint presentation, you will see how clean energy is efficiently made and manifested, why you should invest your new dollar in this new energy as a PowerPoint presentation of MRH making a power plant. In this being the pure natural energy, as you very well know, as the making of fresh oxygen. We started this, of course, with the expelling of McKinley, Rainier, Hellas, of initially MRH in 1996. Through the Olympic procession, with those being the most biohazardous, toxic, extreme, poisonous, drug-infested, and harmful gases known on Earth, volcanoes, we have those expelled. In the making of the power plant, pure clean energy, this is established. And the aforementioned omega inverse condensed photosynthesis outform all impurities. Doing the heavy bag look. So we will take you through the PowerPoint presentation as a power plant. From here, the full squat up into a power clean motion. Bag is tilted in a bent over row where we release towards the camera, which is photosynthesis, is actually pure oxygen. When we lift back up, we bring back pure steam oxygen. Here we show what we call either 50-degree turns of the bag or 180-degree turns of the heavy bag, like so, moving at 400 pounds per ratio, getting it back to the starting position. As the bag is laid back down, like so, producing nothing but steam oxygen, we take a step back, pull the steam oxygen back to us at 400 pounds, fully regrouping into the power clean motion in a power plant substance, being the reciprocal tube, power cleaning back up, creating what is called the full squat into a power clean motion, the bag is bent back over where we release into photosynthesis pure oxygen. We pick back up pure steam oxygen. Twist, which will be considered the turbines, spinning, rotating right to left, 360 degree motion, and then getting into the 180 degree turns, or what we call the 50-50. So you get to see what that would be like. So in the discretion of a power plant being made, the bag is filled with iron, dirt, and weight. Full squat into the power clean motion. This is the physics and the chemistry. Releasing pure oxygen here. Bent over row, picking back up into pure steam oxygen. Twisting, which we call a grind, either 180s or 360s, or of course 50-50s for the full circumference of the bag, or of course full turbines spinning in acute accusation of 360 degree rotation. We're just showing it to you as a module in a power plant presentation. Bringing the full steam oxygen back to us. Well, we actually lay the bag back down, bring it back to us. We start from the full steam oxygen, full power squat into a power clean. Bag tips. And as it tips, this is where we release oxygen. When we pick it back up, we reciprocate pure steam oxygen. 180s of a 360 degree turn, or of course 50-50 of the bag, however you may see it. Getting into its power plant PowerPoint presentation, you will see how pure energy is turned into pure oxygen and pure steam oxygen, and what we would call the turbine workhorse or the engine. So as we considerably, continually, collectively produce a clean energy, the weight move, weight times force times mass times power, creates a PowerPoint presentation for the actual power plant. In this matter, creating a clean oxygen has its full substances of clean energy. Again, from here, from the power squat position, releasing straight oxygen. The bent over row, picking the bag up, straight steam oxygen. Getting into the turbine spinning in the diagram state of 360 degrees, continue with a dotted line. In the 180 degrees, as it is situated, and of course the 50-50 process, where you see the bag turning halfway through its movement back to its forward position. Here, at its forward position, we lower the bag back down as we pick it up, and we are in the full steam oxygen room, or mode, or receptor. Here, we recuperate all the steam oxygen back here, regroup, take all the steam oxygen, and create fresh oxygen. Release it into photosynthesis. As we release it into photosynthesis, which we consider as omega inverse condensed photosynthesis, form all impurities. That is, of course, into the actual camera or upload. As that takes place, we have a margin of energy of what the forecast or weather is today. So, in producing a clean energy versus a coil or a gas or a oil-based fuel, we have a solar-based fuel. Pure oxygen released into photosynthesis. Pure steam oxygen picked back up. Turbines are spinning. 360 degrees for the diagram, 180 degrees, 360 degrees, and 50-50 for half of the bag. And what you see here. In a PowerPoint presentation, making a power plant, what would this run off of? Ultimately, we show you a fragment of a mirror diagram, as you can see, or as I will show you. We are done explaining the left through the PowerPoint presentation of how this mirror in a solar-powered energy receptor actually acts as a conductor to having a generator producing solar power energy. What this means is when I show you this mirror, about 50 to 100 of these mirrors standing around 200 feet tall, 300, maybe 400 feet tall, with a magnification covering in the actual solar powered sunlight would magnify the actual solar power panel to produce a magnified energy, which in its purification is explained through the power plant coordination. This would move according to sundial. So you would have 50 stem cells or 100 stem cells or 400 mirrors magnified into the solar system, reciprocating pure solar energy into conductors that eventually, when it gets through its full capacity, produce a natural energy, which is also cleaner, more efficient, more sufficient, and healthier. I will show you how this is done after I explain how this works again, so you're not confused and get a clear understanding. Here, we bring back to us pure steam oxygen. It's a harder move to move the bag after actually lifting it forward and then having to move it backward. This is where we produce steam, or in the turbine engine or workhorse, this is where the steam energy is produced into its right here, which is the full squat position. We power lift up into a power clean position or motion. The bag goes forward, we release nothing but pure oxygen. Or we pick back up pure steam oxygen. Turbines are spinning. Rotation is happening. 360 degrees of 180 or 50-50 of half the bag moving side to side. We're putting it back into position as the power plant is rotating and spinning and producing pure oxygen going out. Now, it's a harder work because we just went forward. Now we're coming back, taking all the steam and pure energy and pulling it back to us. Pull it back to us, back to the squatter's position, and we're right back in the full range of motion of the power clean physics. Pure oxygen is released into photosynthesis. The bag is picked back up. Pure steam oxygen is brought back to us through the reciprocator or the piping, everything is rotating in the turbines, blade spinning through the workhorse or the engine that's producing the steam. Here, it's placed back down. This acts as a reciprocator back, pure steam oxygen, recoils into the actual piping that would be considered the tubing, or here we call it the totally tubular. Releasing pure oxygen back into the tube, picking up nothing but steam oxygen back to us, grinding and twisting. So you got a 360-degree effect with the diagram and dotted line. You have the 360, 180, and you have just seeing half the bag in rotation, 50-50. So I'm making a PowerPoint presentation for a power plant, meaning producing nothing but clean energy, fresh steam oxygen. These are the components of how that would work through a PowerPoint presentation. Again, we will show you how, in order, the workhorse or the turbine engine would actually turn conducively to the solar power unit, which will act as a conductor and a reciprocator to a coil that would again distribute pure solar power energy. These solar power energy plates would be mirror reflected with a magnification plate over the mirrors. As these are reflected into the sunlight, the sun would move, of course, as a sundial into the day. As we move into the day, it would get into the night. So, as everything starts, it also has an end. So, as we move into the night, at a sunset, the actual mirrors with magnification plates on top, which will magnify the sun, create a higher density of solar power energy, that in turn would allow the turbine engine to last longer, will create a higher magnified power of clean energy produced, or oxygen. From right here, lifting 400 pounds, releasing oxygen into the tube, bringing it back up, recoiling steam oxygen, grinding the steam oxygen through the actual turbine plates that would rotate counterclockwise as you see here. The steam oxygen then would turn into its power source. That power source would come to a module capacity, which would be right here, full of steam oxygen. It will go back through the tube, lay down this way. We would pull it back to us, where it enter another chamber where the pure steam oxygen would move, get back right here, which would be considered the power squat position, and of course recoil or spindle, or be pushed right back into fresh oxygen released into the tube. At that point, that can be considered piping or some type of geothermal insulation that would produce a power plant main source of energy. So what it would produce would be the natural sunlight that in turn would recoil and produce its natural energy, which is oxygen, or pure steam energy, or pure steam oxygen. So, we give you a systematic administrative component to the building of the PowerPoint presentation and its effect, so you don't miss it in the building of a power plant. We have conductors, semiconductors, 3 or 4 engines running, solar power, gas power, generator power, electric power, all play their role in a major power plant industry. Here, we show you something that is long distance in its effect. It's totally clean. We show you how it works. And through its capacity, you have seen it working at 2 hours, at twice the actual weight of the workhorse or the turbine engine. Now here in this case would be MRH, off MRH 50 Services, creating a real power plant. Again, this is 400 pounds, twice my body weight. So when we produce fresh steam oxygen, most power plants, after they go through their turbine system, are underground, where the piping leads to a ventilation duct. The ventilation duct leads to an air compressor. The actual air compressor would lead to some more piping that would in turn end up going out into the oxygen as fresh steam. So we show you how each of those components work here. This right here will be considered the air compressor. Steam is falling into the air compressor. We're pulling it back into the air duct. All the steam is in the air duct. And we're getting ready to produce it straight out on camera through the tube. So when you see it in a power plant, as this is spewing over, so to speak, it releases nothing but pure oxygen into the camera. We pick it back up and recoil nothing but steam oxygen. Turbines are spinning. Turbines are rotating. To get back to the front with the air compressor acts as a semiconductor to reproducing the same energy. So here the air compressor is rotating clockwise and of course counterclockwise as you see the rotation of the bag in one position. Move it down here. The air then flows through the duct as hot steam oxygen produced through the air compressor. We pull it back to us, goes through the air compressor straight to the release of the steam into the actual oxygen. Where it gets here is where it becomes power clean. It goes straight back out into the environment as oxygen. Now here we produce it straight through the camera, through the tube. It's totally tubular. It's the Mike Henry show. So when we approach the investors to make a power plant, for all those who know what a power plant is, it generates energy. Electrical energy, hydration energy, even hydroponic energy. But as I show you each movement through this process, this should give you the PowerPoint presentation to understand this is real. This is 400 pounds. We definitely would like to get it on display so you can weigh it yourself. Then have a chance, of course, to see me go through the display of the showcase in the same mannerism and continuity that you see here today. We do have the special feature of the mirror that we are going to show you that will act as the solar power gathering of pure energy without using coal, without using gas, without using some type of hydrogens, and also staying as natural as possible, as the bag is filled with nothing but iron, let's say gold weights on them, and sand and dirt. Pure oxygen release, pure steam oxygen brought back to us. Turbines are spinning here. counterclockwise and clockwise, 360 degrees to 80 degrees. The card knots, systematic, mathematic divide. You get into the air compressor. We sit here at the top, and the air compressor is here while we're here. So it's rotating clockwise and counterclockwise. Now, the pure oxygen is getting ready to recoil and produce more pure oxygen. The air compressor releases all the hot steam oxygen from rotating clockwise and counterclockwise. It goes through the air duct. As it hits the air duct, it's getting ready to go right back out into the atmosphere from right here. The oxygen is released into the tube or the camera. The oxygen in simile is released right back into the atmosphere. That is a full power clean motion, power clean physics, and what we call into a bent over roll, where we have to have the bag about a 45-degree angle and pick it back up. That means all our oxygen is released. After it was released, it takes more energy to pick the bag back up, going the opposite direction, as counterclockwise, to create steam oxygen, which in every lift and building makes it cleaner. Again, that means the weight gets heavier the longer you lift at a heavy weight. So again, weight times force times mass times power. The release of all fresh oxygen into the tube. But to bring it back up requires more energy, which requires more horsepower, which requires more steam. Put it back up. Then we gotta rotate it, put it into clockwise, counterclockwise. Turbines are spinning. The blades are spinning oxygen, pure fresh oxygen out into the air. Then it gets back to the air compressor. And we get right back here. The air compressor is spinning the oxygen now. Uses only about 1 second. I go straight back down, but we have to show you the example. Get here, now the steam oxygen from the air compressor is pushing oxygen underground through the viaduct pipe into what they call a geothermal insulation. The geothermal insulation then goes through a filter, and we power lift back up as you see steam going straight back into the atmosphere. Or power clean motion into a bent over roll, going back into the atmosphere. And as a heavy weight, a max weight, where it is repped normally, conducively only one time, it is produced as harder to do. So, at a long distance ratio, with commentary, you have what we have in the effect of what a PowerPoint presentation is, and of course, attaining the capital to build a real power plant. That means the max weight that we are producing after the air is compressed as straight steam at 10, 15, 20 minutes is brought back through the pipes, made cleaner than its first original lift. This is our 104th lift, around 15 to 20 minutes or an hour each session. Fully commentated, rapping, singing, dancing, harmonies, put back into the atmosphere, the natural global existence. So, in the making of a real power plant, you are seeing a real PowerPoint presentation. Of course, written out there on the range by MRH. It is an invention. It's a new power lift. And we have it in its long distance word availability and its full squat to power clean motion. So this is what we produce coming out of our power plant and our industrial grid. Industrial is kind of like anything, big warehouse, garage area, large indication of work being done. So we have it at a long distance session and procession that's actually effective and it actually works. So when you view this program And you actually can see it for a power plant. And us attaining the capital, of course, the working means to produce a power plant that will allow pure energy to flow through its regional position of geographic land area is where this can be produced. This is a max weight, again, 400 pounds. It is lifted long distance. In its word truth, as a paradox, it is a power plant paradox. In this, it has, of course, its values of producing clean energy. These clean energies are fully diagrammed, as you see here, or written off their own, arranged by MRH, cannot be reduplicated or produced without any reason or applicable diagnostic or diagnosis, unless arranged for payment to MRH, MRH Gifty Services, and disclosure is private and confidential, not subject to any ailment, sickness, or disease, as being conducive to our natural environment and habitat, having a goal-oriented, sustainable outlook that has surpassed competition and its productivity is very well known, as we expelled McKinley Rainier Helens in '96 through the Olympic procession. I'd like to thank you for viewing today. We are going to get into showing you how the solar energy portion can be produced. Right here, we do have what we call the mirror effect. This mirror effect would produce a energy. That energy and its contents would allow the solar powered movement to be drawn into the mirror, bounced off the mirror into magnified grids that would actually read it as receptors, take it down through coil indicators that will produce energy into a solar system panel that in turn would make and allow certain engines to operate at a pure clean energy, so it only has that recourse in its production or productivity. So I'd like to thank you for viewing. This is MRH Gifty Services. Hit me at staroflead@mail.com, staroflead@gmail.com, 253-304-9461. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Tubular ist my hearing shot.